Today's story that matters is more than just a single story, but a genre of stories. I'll call them Prometheus stories. Prometheus is a ancient Greek myth about a titan that stole fire from the gods and gave it to the humans, and that caused all kinds of trouble for Prometheus and Zeus and all those guys. What it did for humans is it really rose us. It raised us from a kind of apes that wandered around picking stuff up off the ground to creatures that could manipulate our own environments. And that was the start of everything that was to follow. Fire itself keeps you warm. You can cook food. You can also burn down your house. So we could see the issue here. We could see why this is a story that matters. Every technology that we have brings with it a danger, even as it brings a kind of balance to its benefits. Other stories, Frankenstein, subtitle is The Modern Prometheus. We know that story very well. And it is when we try to play God, we create something that we then have to deal with. And for one thing, the Frankenstein monster is a sad character and it's lonely, but it also is prone to violence and isn't just the toy that Dr. Frankenstein kind of thought it was when he started. One of my favorite, more modern retellings of the Prometheus story or the Frankenstein story is Ex Machina, that film. You probably know it. A mad scientist intentionally creates what he imagines will be the successor to the human species, a super smart robot. It's also ruthless and wants to replicate itself. And um, other stories along this vein. I just finished the second of a series, a science fiction novel series called Hyperion. And it's about a distant future where human beings have populated the galaxy, but they've done so in large part by using a technology that AI is made for them, and the humans don't understand the technology and don't control it, and yet they're completely dependent upon it. And the AIs may or may not have the humans' best interests in mind, and that there's a novel about that, and we've seen that evil robot story played over and over. Um, and we can go on and on. I could just keep listing these, and so can you. Um, the lesson is pretty simple. Be careful when you create some new technology. It has a tendency to bite you in the ass. Um, and that's fine. That's a good message, but we know it. We've read these stories so many times. We've seen these movies so many times. We get it. We're pretty afraid of AI, and yet it doesn't seem to be stopping us. And I guess that's what I want to get into here. Do we listen to the stories that matter? Um, we've been hearing these stories as long as human beings have been around, and yet we keep inventing fire every chance we get. It seems like um, we made nuclear weapons, we made smartphones, we made the internet. Now we're making these AI LLMs that are already smarter than 95% of us. And it's the question becomes: do we listen to our stories that matter? Do our stories matter at all? Um, and I would say yes, and because here it is: we always know about the dangerous technologies that we do go forward with, but we don't really think about all the ones that we could go forward with, but we really haven't. So there are whole fields of science that have been stifled because of ethical concerns, because of fear of what could happen, the whole using genetics to modify human beings. Um, That could go so much farther than it has. We could really see a dystopian world where the rich are increasingly perfect, their kids are, and then everybody who can't afford this kind of genetic manipulation are less than human in a lot of ways. But that really hasn't gone down as far as it could have. And in the movie Blade Runner, there are the genetic biological toys that scientists makes. We don't really do that. We don't combine like different kinds of animals for our amusement. Thank goodness. It's just a little too creepy for us. And I think we also just listen to our stories. We're worried about things backfiring. There's whole kind of potential portfolios of weapons that we could use that we don't. We could make way bigger use of biological weapons, viruses, and things like that. And we really hope that that kind of technology doesn't get into the wrong hands as it gets easier and easier to make. We really did, as a species, um, pull ourselves back from the brink during the nuclear arms race, and we still have nukes. They could still blow us all up, but we've really done a lot to slow down the pace of developing these things and giving them to everyone. So I would argue that as screwed up as we are, as bad as many bad ideas as we pursue, without the stories that are constantly telling us what could go wrong, I think it could be a lot worse. So keep on reading and writing those great Prometheus stories, um, and hopefully we'll we'll make it through to the next stage.